What they asked me to do is write two expressions. Since I don't know the price of the car, I'm going to let P represent that price for a minute. You might. I'm going to let P represent that price of whatever this car is that he's selling. Okay? How much of that price do I have to pay for? I've got to pay all of the price though, right? So I'm going to start out with my price, and I'm going to add to it %10 of the price. Everybody see that? That's one expression. That's one. That's one thing they asked me to do. How many of them do I have to write? Two. Listen, all of them get written out this same way. You're going to start out whatever the original was, and you're going to add or subtract a percentage of that item.
Wait, how did you come up with 0.10 times?
10% markup. 10% of what? The price. So it's the price plus 10% of the price, which is what you were doing yesterday. We're just writing an expression for it. And you're going to see why in a minute we would want an expression when we get to part B. Okay? They said write how many? 2. Here's what I want you to think of. What's implied to be in front of this P? How many P's are there?
3.
How many P's are there? Right there.
Oh.
There's one P there. These are the same things. I can add them together, right? What's 1 plus 0.10? 1 plus 0.10. 1.1. 1.11 is what you said. Okay. So, the other expression would be 1.10p. What I want you to think about is yesterday I said there was 2 different ways that you could work out a problem. You could find 10% of the price, and then you could add it to the price. Or I could said you could start out with 100%, add the 10%, which is 110%, and you could multiply that as a decimal times the price. Does everybody make the connection? We're not doing anything different. It's just now an expression. There's 2 different ones I could use.
Could you solve it like that?
That's why we're writing the expression. Listen, if a salesperson is getting 10% markup on everything, do you think he wants to go through the hassle of having to rethink a formula every single time that he's marking something up? Which one of these 2 formulas are going to be easier to use? This one's going to be easier. And I'm going to come right down here. 1.10p. What am I going to put in place of this p? 28. It's in B.
Oh.
Do you see? They gave it to me. They said if Rick buys a remote control car for $28, in other words, the price of that car is $28. What's he going to sell it for? Well, I'm going to take 1.10 times 28. Be 30.8. $30.80. This part's the exact same thing we did as yesterday. This part is something that's new, and we're writing an expression without using a numerical value for the price or whatever that original item is. That's the only difference.
I thought they were talking about a real car.
No.
I was like, $38?
No, it's a remote control car. In fact, it's a cheap remote control car, if you ask me.
If you want to go. I was like,
This is one you'd get at Walmart, not at a hobby store.
They sell ones at like one for an hour maybe. There's probably tools and they're selling it for like $5.
Probably Harbor Freight.
How about Target?
Yeah, that place, yeah.
Everybody good?
I don't know.
Go to the next example there, which is going to be 148. An exclusive clothing boutique triples the price of the item it purchases for resale. What is the boutique's markup percent? Okay. How do I figure out how much something was marked up? What do we call that? It's a percentage increase or a percentage decrease. How do I find that? How much it changed? Okay. Remember, a percent change equals the original. Not the original. It's the amount of change divided by what? The amount of change over the original. And you know what? They didn't give me any numbers. But they did tell me what was going to happen to it. It said it was going to do what? Triple in price. So if P equals the price, right? If it triples in price, what's it going to be? So, triples in price is going to be 3P. This is my original. This is the new price. How would I figure the amount that it changed? 3P minus P, right? Divided by what? P. I'm still figuring percent markup. I want to get it to a percent. What is 3P minus 1P? What's going to happen to my P's? So this is only equal to what? That's a decimal. If I want to change it to a percent, what does it become? It becomes 200%. And listen, once you've started writing expressions, you're going to find that the expressions realistically start writing themselves the same way. This is a percent increase, right? Markup? It's a percent markup. So if I'm going to write two expressions, I have to get P, right? I've got to get all of that. It's a percent markup plus 200%, which is 2 times what? P. The third one is going to be what? The other expression. P plus 2P is 3P. There's my two expressions.
So it's P plus
This is the original. This is the 200% markup. Original, 200% markup. And this is what it would look like if I combined my like terms. My two expressions. Ready, okay? Can I go forward? No, still copy. If you're done copying, turn to page 149. Pretty good? Mm-hmm. This is the last exam. Okay. Number 5, a bicycle shop marks down each bicycle selling price by 24%. It says draw a bar model. A bar model, realistically, nothing more than a bar. If I let this bar represent the price, B, so from here all the way to here represents B. It says that they're going to mark it down at 24%. Is it going to add to this bar or take away from this bar? Take away. Since it's going to take away, we're going to create a little division in here. And we're going to let this be $24%. And this is going to be what it's actually going to sell for, the part that's left. Yeah, whatever it is. The bicycle shop marks down each bicycle's selling price. Right? It's a sale. So when it's on sale, this is going to be its sale price, right here. If the whole bar was 100% and 24% of it is here, how do I find out how much is here? Okay. Not 100 divided, but 100, which happens to be 76%. Okay? What is a single term expression for the sale price? Single term. I don't have to do both. I only have to do one. 0.76 times the variable they gave me, B for the bicycle. Now, do I think that you're going to take time to draw out a bar graph every time you come across this problem? I wouldn't. It's just as easy to do it the other way, but it is good practice to see it so that if you see one, you know, oh yeah, I know how to do this. Okay? I certainly wouldn't draw a bar graph if I had to do it. I'd just do it the other way. By the way, page 150 and 151, it's a total of 15 questions. I want you to take a look at number 2 real quick. It's in a table. It says 18. It says 15% markup. Up at the top it says markup here, and it says retail. To get this column, this column is going to be 18 times 0.15. Somebody do that real quick on their calculator for me. For number 2, 18 times 0.15. 2.7. So, on number 2, in the markup column, you're going to put $2.70. On number 2, in the markup column, you're going to put $2.70. How do I get the retail? I'd take the original 18 plus the markup, 270, and it's going to be $20.70 in that retail column.
So you just do 18 times 15.
You do 18 times 0.15, the percent is a decimal, same thing we did yesterday. That's going to tell you how much it gets marked up, and then you're going to take the markup and add it right back to that original price to get what it's going to retail for. Okay? I am going to leave it right where